Hello, time travelers. I took a vacation to spend time with my son, and this video is kind of going over some highlights of what we did and explaining this is why I've done fewer videos in the last couple of weeks. This is my look of disapproval. And you might have the look of disapproval because you're like, where's those videos I was waiting on? Well, that's the reason. First interesting thing that my son and I did that I want to mention is that we went and saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And for us, that's a whole experience because I don't have a car, so we take the bus there and then we walk to a place to eat and blah, 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 blah. But it's a good movie if you want to take your kids to it. And then my son helped me film a complex video that I've been waiting a while to film called The Unicorn and the Nope Sign. I have him help when the camera angles are complicated and there's makeup and costume changes, etc. that, you know, take some of the thinking out of it. I'm like, he's just gonna be the one that sets the camera up and points it and sets the focus and sets the exposure. And I just have the maps that I made reminding me where all the cameras go. If y'all don't know it, when I'm doing my sci-fi videos or videos where other versions of me appear, I actually have to think about where everybody is standing and draw maps during the writing process because it all has to make sense. But the video is actually about a guitar pedal that I built that I decided to call Unicorn, and another version of me called Rainbow Princess, which is like a cringe character on purpose, decides to give me a scavenger hunt to find the perfect thing to put on the pedal. And now, this week's tech thing. I don't always do a tech thing in my vlogs, but when I do, it's a tech thing that is interesting and or maybe help you in some way thing. My son does a weekly live stream from my kitchen table, and he would typically bring his own PC over, and he also games at that same PC. But what had happened was I had a PC of my own that I just got a motherboard back from MSI, and he helped me rebuild it, and we thought, what if we just shared this PC so you didn't have to drag your PC from your mom's house? But typically, we have to run an Ethernet cable across the living room floor from where the modem and everything is all the way over to the kitchen when he's over. So since we're gonna be sharing this PC, I finally bit the bullet and figured out how to run an Ethernet cable to that computer specifically. For all of you out there who ask, why don't you just use Wi-Fi? Well, I'm just going to reverberate what you've heard probably dozens of other people say. Wired connection is always superior. And like I said, he streams on that PC and he games, and sometimes he games online, and it sucks when you're on Wi-Fi. It's always dropping or lagging. First, I measured all the distances from one thing to another before I went online to find the right cable. You'll see what I mean in a minute. And I found a flat Cat6 Ethernet cable that was just a little bit longer than the length I needed on Amazon, and it had good reviews. Link in a descriptive thingy down below if you want to look at it or whatever. And since my son was over, he helped me set it up, and the Ethernet cable I bought came with little clip things that you nail into the wall to hold it there. We ran the cable from the computer up the wall, over the ceiling in the kitchen, and then down behind the stove, through a hole that happened to be in the floor there, that I also used to run a power cable to my dehumidifier so it doesn't throw the breaker by being on the basement circuit. Well, that's a whole other story. Then across the ceiling in the basement, and there's Charlie doing something at my basement workbench. I don't remember what he was doing right now. Then the wire goes into the big vent box. Look it. There's my finger pointing. There. Look it. And now look it, I'm upstairs dangling the cable so you can see what happens. And then later I ran the cable along the wall into the back of this crappy furniture that holds my printer, modem, router, and switch. And like that, magic! I don't have to fuss with running this cable every time that he's over and being careful not to trip on it and stuff. Ugh. And vacation means less videos. But alas, that was the past, and now I have to ramp up the whole production schedule again. You know, writing, filming, editing, but it's more complex than that. So anybody who's been watching my AI videos, I'm almost done writing the script for my how to train LoRa's in Stable Diffusion video. So subscribe for all the AI stuff that I've been working on and tutorials and demonstrations. Whether you're curious or you actually have Stable Diffusion installed on your own computer, either way. I also do random vlogs. That's what the RVLOG is, if you see it on one of my videos, if you haven't figured that out. I also do random sci-fi comedy videos, like the one that I published last week, called Smartphones of the Multiverse that took my son and I over 2 years to produce. And the reason is because he sees different versions of me across the multiverse, and we had to rearrange the living room so that each one looked different, and I had to do makeup and costume for myself every single time, and sometimes him, because he played multiple characters, and the setup was huge, and he's only over a few days every other week. So that's my excuse why it took forever to make. But in the video, you can actually see my writing and my filming and production skills improve from one scene to the next. Everything I learned about making videos, I was applying it when we were filming new scenes. But while he was over during the vacation, he helped me with ideas for finishing up that video. Please click the card up here after you're done watching this video so you can check that video out. But I did more stuff with my son during the vacation. I mean, every day we did something. But it's not like I kept a log. And that's a segue over to this week's dad joke time. My dad sent me this dad joke, and it's a Star Trek themed meme thing. And Captain Picard says to Captain Kirk, "Do you even know how much wood you've chopped?" And Captain Kirk says, "No, maybe I should have kept a log." And I said, Captain's log, but tis. And now for this week's Enjoy This Random Thing. I think maybe my dad sent me this. I can't remember. Either that or I found it. And it says, "When the car you used to draw in kindergarten pull up on you." It reminds me of cars that I used to draw when I got into drawing when I was 7 or 8. Do you remember when you were 7 or 8? Did you draw cars like that? Well, my son Charlie never did that bad of a job. Here's a picture that's still on my fridge that Charlie drew when he was 7 or 8 or something. It's my 1979 Nova driving down the road. Let's see how much better it is than this garbage. I mean, this is only a tiny bit garbage, but not really garbage because he was 7 or 8 or something. This is so much more garbager. I mean, what was this person thinking when they built this garbage hunk of garbagerness? And now it's time for the awkward end screen, where I say or do something that's awkward and then point around awkwardly at where the end screen objects might be. Do you remember making crappy drawings of cars when you were 7 or 8 or something? Well, Charlie didn't. I'm not saying that Charlie's better than you. I'm just saying that he didn't. His drawings were decent. Click here to see another video where I did something with my son. And click here if you want to see Smartphones of the Multiverse. I mean, you have to see it. It's freaking amazing. All the work that he did and I did. But all the acting and his acting improved through each part. Wow. And then just click over here and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing your comments in all my videos. Bye.